Hello, welcome to another edition of Bye Narcissist. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you very much. I am Fred Holtz. I'm a licensed psychologist here on Long Island, and I specialize in people leaving narcissistic relationships and the trials and tribulations involved with that. I run a group on Monday night at 7 for people leaving narcissistic relationships, and you can contact me at 516-888-3000. And I'm with?
I'm Bryman. I'm a licensed psychologist, and I too specialize in narcissistic abuse recovery and people dealing with all the trials and tribulations as well, and the chaos and the mess of dealing with leaving a narcissistic relationship.
And you can get more information from her number is right up there.
Yeah,
I believe.
it's
there
516-404-3753, and my group meets Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m.
Excellent. And we're working on a book together. It's called Bye Narcissist, and we're up to chapter 6. We hope it'll be done in a few months. We're going to work on it more pretty soon. We just discussed that. So this is a place to feel safe discussing things about being with a narcissist. Both of us have been there, done that. We've experienced it. We're out the other side and happy for it. As Dr. Bryman often points out, we're sort of a little bit glad that we experienced it because we're better people after the fact. Not that we wish it on anybody, but it makes you stronger when you recover, when you heal, when you get better, and when you're done with it. We do rely on your questions, so please introduce yourself, say hello, tell us where you're from, and feel free to ask any question at all. Maybe we can't answer it, but you could try. We've been answering most of the questions pretty well. We have to do research on the complex PTSD.
Right,
but
and there was one other thing.
We will eventually answer all questions.
Yes.
I have, later in the show, I did finish the movie Gaslight.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay,
I finished it, and it's not that it's the best movie on earth, but wow, does it really demonstrate the effects of a narcissist on you. I'll discuss it more later. I strongly suggest you watch it. The original 1944 with Ingrid Bergman. Yeah. It's not the best movie ever created, but it's a very fine example of how a narcissist can manipulate you. Anyhow, welcome. The basic topic we're going to talk about is steps that you should take to leave your narcissist and steps you take to heal from that experience. Everyone's in a different place. We know people are still trying to escape their narcissist. They're kind of stuck. We get it. But eventually these steps will apply.
Yeah, to everyone. It's amazing because the narcissist or the person with NPD, it's almost like a spectrum, and they're all the same. Well, they're all the same. I mean, there's different subtypes, but they're still very similar. It's
one thing I definitely learned from doing this, working with the groups and the show. There's a strange similarity among narcissists. Of course, good evening, Michi. Good to see you. Everyone's situation obviously very different. Some people have been in long-term relationships. Some people have kids. Some people are married. Some people have just dated. Sometimes they're talking about their parents who are narcissists.
Or work, or bosses, or...
Yeah, but there is a definite similarity in... it's almost like a textbook. They do the same things. They have the same techniques, the same routine.
The cycle of abuse is the same.
Yes, and I've come to focus more on that, like the cycle of like pulling you back in and being great and wonderful and sometimes apologizing, but it's false, and then just it repeats all over.
You know what? I have to tell you, I'm noticing this more and more with patients is that when they talk about the cycle of abuse, they're not. Some people just don't want to get out of it even. They don't see it clearly. They're so stuck.
It is. I mean, sometimes when you're too close to the situation, like you can't see the forest for the trees or whatever that expression is. But that would be like step one, is to recognize what the deal is. Okay?
But even in front of their face, they still don't see it, and they're still, struggling.
So I'm going to say, so in our book, we're going to talk about 8 specific steps of recovery. We're not necessarily talking about that net today, but we're talking about general steps from so step 1, I'm going to say, recognizing that you're in an abusive, narcissistic relationship. I think everyone here, everyone on this side of the camera, there was that moment where you say, all right, something up, and wow, we're you look it up, you go to Google and you type in narcissist. Like, even if you're a professional.
Yep.
Let's just see this.
Okay, hi both of you. Thank you for your time. I'm French Canadian, relocated to the U.S. with my wonderful American husband. I've never met his brother yet, and he has been criticizing our relationship since I came into the picture 2 years ago. He keeps bullying me in family group text messages and trying to destroy my reputation in the eyes of others. I understand that he's not going to change, and I'm not interested in a relationship with him. My 2 questions.
All right, let me just comment.
We'll put that on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we never.
I don't think we met. So like us on Facebook, follow us everywhere, and we're on YouTube also. Anyway,
yes.
So this is an interesting situation because, apparently your relationship is good. You're not complaining about that, but someone is targeting you. His brother, why? He's targeting you and trying to make you look bad. And some of the techniques he's using are the methods of a narcissist. Like, he's turning people against you. He's just besmirching your reputation. We want to know more, but you already know a little bit because you understand he's not going to change. He will not change. Narcissists do not change. There's rare exceptions, but they don't change.
Right.
We will await your 2 questions as we read Michi's. Hi, Michi.
I hope your husband's protecting you with
Yeah,
this.
right?
So yeah, add to that with, just let us know.
We're gonna read your questions. Yes. I promise. And thanks for feeling comfortable enough to share this because you don't know us that well, but it's a safe place to share.
Yeah.
I was hoovered, devalued, and discarded yesterday in one day. Narcissistic abuse is brutal. It is brutal. We're gonna tell you not to put yourself in that situation, Michi. You're like a moth to a flame with whoever this is. Back to the silent treatment.
But it's getting quicker, Michi. The cycle of abuse gets quicker. Back to the silent treatment. You are one lucky girl, huh? This is good.
Yeah, thank God he's not
Embrace
talking.
it.
You're right. They're only. Yeah. We told Michi. I don't want to say I told you so. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
And quick.
The cycle's going to get quick. Right. It must have been quicker because last week.
Enjoy the silent treatment.
Yes, enjoy. Use it to read a book and better yourself. It is brutal, yes. But please, Michi, I'm going to say the same thing, Michi. Like you're an outgoing, lovely woman. You've got friends. I know because I told you I stalk you on Facebook. So I saw your friends respond really nice. You have friends who always say nice things. They say, "Oh, what a strong woman! You're a great person." And, your comments from your friends or your acquaintances are wonderful. You should stick with those. I understand. I don't want to be right. I want you to feel comfortable and get out of there.
Right.
Michi, you have so much to offer. Why are you sticking with this guy? And I know I can read her mind. She's saying you got to examine yourself. You got to be stronger yourself. You got to understand, why do you keep going back? We talked about addiction and the attraction and all that stuff, but you got to figure it out for yourself and probably get help. There's a lot of groups now, not just ours, for narcissistic abuse. Plenty. There's a lot of websites. However, I would suggest you talk one-on-one or in a small group at this point. And of course, we'll help you here. You're welcome here anytime. But you're stuck.
You're stuck. Dopamine rush.
Yes. Just for the people who are on who may not have heard, thanks. I do have a lot of friends. No one deserves, of course, no one, especially you, Michi.
Yeah.
But nobody deserves abuse. No one deserves it. No one earned it. No one should have abuse. Get out. Try to maybe I know from the experience of quitting cigarettes a long time ago. Try to go 3 days, then try to go 4 days. But honestly, no contact is the gold standard advice for dealing with a narcissist. I do understand sometimes people can't do that if it's a parent or a son or a brother or sister.
Right.
We're awaiting 2 great questions from, what was her first name? Genevieve.
Yeah.
But anyway, so while we're waiting for those questions, and please, all 9 of you, ask questions, introduce yourself, say hello. We want to know where you're from and just how you found us, and what your situation is. So please feel free, as Genevieve was very comfortable talking about her situation. Anyway, would you agree? Like the first step is like, the first step is sensing that something's wrong.
Yeah,
very
wrong.
Very wrong. In my case, I felt I was losing myself. I was making excuses for her. I was saying like, well, I know she loves me, so she'll get better. Every excuse that you guys use. Oh, here we go.
So number 1.
Okay, do you want me to read this one?
You go ahead.
Oops, my question. Okay. What to do in an upcoming family event in case he would harass me in front of people? Before I even go further, I'm going to expand on Dr. Bryman's comment. Who's protecting you from this?
Yeah.
Husband? Like, we'll get to there. Okay. If he disrespects me in front of the whole family, should I ask for an apology?
No.
You shouldn't have to, but we'll get there. My husband here we go. My husband is still hopeful for a relationship with his brother. I'm still hopeful with a relationship for my brother. It ain't going to happen, though. What to do? I understand his grievance. And yes, my husband is protecting me, but I have to reason.
I have to, reason with him.
Reason with him to stand up and set boundaries. You got to stand up and set the boundaries. He has a tendency to let it slide, thinking it's not worth it to get in a fight. He's so stuck in the manipulation. Okay, so
Genevieve, while we're answering it, sorry.
Go ahead.
Write down how you've been responding, so we see how you've been responding to him.
I mean, on the outside, I do agree your husband should be standing up for you, but ultimately, my philosophy of life is like, you got to take control of your own life somehow. What is it about the dynamics going on there where you feel you have to protect yourself about this brother? Should you tell him off in public? It's not going to help. You're not going to change him. I would rather you don't play the game that they want you to play. I don't know what's going on with the dynamics with this brother. Jealousy, narcissism, sadism. I don't know what's going on with him. But seriously, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable in a family situation because of one person. So something's up. Something is askew. And you're right in pointing it out. So may I ask, let's get a slight bit more information. Do you see, is there any reasoning why he might be trying to attack you like that?
Are you reacting to him?
Try to ignore him. Oh, Joy Collins has joined us. We're not ignoring you, Genevieve. We are good multitaskers.
Yeah, I guess, Genevieve, just I'd like to know about his parents in this. And,
more information is needed. Well, let's go. We'll get back to Genevieve, I promise. But first, Joy Collins. Hello, Joy Collins. Hope you're doing well. My mom always. So Joy Collins has been on the show before, and her mom is a narcissist. To summarize. Okay. My mom always has negative comments. How do I answer? For instance, she keeps wanting to know why my friend has a federal job and I don't, which she thinks is better because it's more stable. Even now, so I got to point out, Joy Collins is, well into her career. She's a university professor, basically, and like it's kind of like late in the game for her mom to be criticizing her career. She's very successful. I believe the new job.
Who cares? Like,
no, who cares? Right, you're
so
right.
Much?
I believe the new job I found is better, but my mom is not educated, true, so she doesn't know much about my job or my friend's job. It's very annoying because I always have to defend my decisions or whatever I do.
So stop defending your decisions.
Yeah, stop defending your decision.
Just let it be. She's entitled to her opinion.
There's a lot of, what are all the techniques? Is the gray rock technique? Just like, you could be right. Or just like.
Respond, don't react.
Yes, respond, don't react. Like just go, yep, I hear you. Yeah. I'm listening, Mom.
Oh, I wish I had a federal job. Oh, I made a mistake.
You want to play into play into it. Damn, I wish I had a federal job and not this stinking, terrible, ridiculous job at St. Whatever University.
Yeah, Mom, you're right.
My full-time tenured position sucks. I can't believe I'm in such a position.
Joy's probably what am I talking about? And she's like, okay. I like that, Joy.
I wish I had a federal.
Yeah.
I know Joy personally, and like her job is fine. She's gonna. It's a full time.
But it's not a federal job.
It's not a federal job. No, it's not a federal job. But so you're not going to be able to educate her into the difference between a private college and a state job.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
And I'm not into you shouldn't defend yourself in a sense.
No, you can always have your child have a federal job. I think that would be.
Don't worry, Mom. My son will have a federal job. We're not making light of it. But you got to see the humor in some. You have to see the humor in some of what these narcissists do. It's not funny when you're on the other end of it, but
yeah. I was so serious at the time when I was going through this. Everything was so painful and serious, and
I was a miserable sad sack, and I was not a happy guy.
I wonder if we're bothering people by us trying to make.
We're still answering that question.
Oh, okay.
But Joy, your mantra should be respond, don't react. I hear you, Mom. I'm listening, Mom. Why don't you write that down, Mom, and I'll think about it.
And then laugh a little.
I'll put it under my pillow, Mom.
Yeah.
Well, she has no humor, right? Joy, normally, it might be a good idea to use a little humor, like we are, but I don't think she doesn't quite have a sense of humor.
No.
We're going to get back to that. Let me go. Can you scroll back up to
right here?
Oh.
He did.
All the manipulation has.
Wait. Oh.
Okay, so back to Genevieve. All the manipulation has been done through text messages in family groups. Text. Wow, that's low. Or text messages with my husband, and I never directly to you.
Oh, if it's not to you, do you ever respond? That's what
I gotta say, I can't resist. So there's a certain privilege, in a sense, of this being not a therapy group, but a discussion group. Because in therapy, I can't say, you should talk to your husband about this, but here I can. So you should talk. You should have a nice, calm discussion with your husband. Go out to dinner and in a nice, calm way, and say, "Listen, I got something I want to discuss. I can't take it anymore. I'm really disturbed by what your brother is doing. Let's form a plan together." You're not going to put down your husband because you said the marriage is okay and stuff. And let's make a plan together because I need your help with this, and we're going to do this together with your brother. Let's see what the hell is up and what's going on.
Or you just ignore it, because even do you see what she said? His mom is definitely acknowledging his bad behavior and calling him out. But I sense that the whole family is enabling his abuse because, quote, he's just like that, or they're scared of him.
That's pretty bad, isn't it? He's not just like that. He's hurting you. He's affecting you. You're uncomfortable. See, maybe your husband will respond to listen, I love your family, but I'm uncomfortable at the family gatherings, and I want to enjoy myself. I want to be a partner to you and be part of the family. Mm-hmm. Don't make excuses, but I would say be assertive with your husband first. Get people get some support from him.
I don't think he's going to do anything different. Your husband.
The husband.
No, I think you should just ignore
the fact that it's always been through my husband and never directly to me makes me think it's jealousy and that my husband is the real target. You're onto something there.
Yeah.
You need an open communication with your husband. That's what I say. Get this out in the open with your husband first.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to just say to the brother, knock it off, it's enough. And nobody cares, what you're thinking.
Don't give him too much power. Don't try to respond, not react. That's our motto today. Respond to it by taking steps, talking to your husband. Don't react. Don't show him that it's getting to you. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting dynamic. I feel bad for you, but you got to get this out in the open. Michi.
And Genevieve, he doesn't think like you. That's the thing. So know that. He doesn't think like you, the brother, or maybe even your husband sometimes, but So this is their family. I know it's yours now because you're married into it, but I wouldn't get so involved because maybe he'll just go away if you ignore it.
I think that's step 2. We're talking about like steps to go from being in a narcissistic relationship to leaving, so to speak. So first of all, make a plan. But 1, recognizing that there's something up, whether it's a narcissist or sadistic personality or borderline or whatever. The point is it's abusive. Recognize it. Recognize not your role in it, because it's not your fault, but like what you're doing there. What are you doing in that relationship? Where you are, like you for example should be like, where are you in that relationship? How come your husband doesn't step in more? If he's the target, why? And why isn't he doing something about it? The second very important step is they don't think like you. If they are narcissists, they're thinking differently. They have a different playbook. You don't try to understand them too much. Get out first.
Well, yeah, and how do you know they think differently? Because you have to learn as much as you can about them and how they think. And so Michi says that she believes overt narcissists are worse than covert.
Can we scroll up a little?
And I say, Michi, I don't think so. I don't know if I agree with that. What do you think?
The fact that it's always been done. My honest opinion is I believe overt narcissists are worse. I think they're both equally hideous, honestly. I
have my opinion on that. I think covert narcissists are worse. And they're finding that, well, some people, subscribe to the school of thought that covert narcissists are psychopaths. They're analogous.
There's definitely overlap in symptoms between psychopathology.
Covert's more intelligent, they say. I think covert's bad. I know overt is pretty awful, but covert's really.
On the surface, overt's like they're more detectable. Obviously, because they're overt, and coverts a long time before you figure out exactly what they're doing.
So creepy. Calculated and creepy and intelligent.
Overt of the word. Overt. I don't agree either. I think covert is worse, but they're both like really bad.
But this is the thing. You need to understand. Everything about the narcissist you possibly can understand. Genevieve, you may want to really find out a lot more information, and then you'll learn how to deal with them. With his brother more. What type of narcissist? He just sounds like, just like this, trying to get attention. I don't know what his life is like, the brother,
So one thing they do, Genevieve, one thing absolutely is they split and they triangulate. So splitting is like literally they get in between you and, in this case, your husband. He may be trying to split you apart. It sounds like he is. Like you're already like split. Like you don't know if he's attacking you. You don't know if he's attacking your husband. We don't want to get you upset that your husband's not reacting, because maybe he is. Maybe this is all he can do. But don't fall for the splitting.
I look at it as triangulating. I think that's what he's trying to do.
Thank you. Got it. Plan and get out. Well, yes, it's easier said than done, but that is the basic thing. Can you please explain why it's not a good idea to ask for an apology as a way to set boundaries for respect?
Do you really think apologies mean respect?
It's not from a narcissist, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, what's likely to happen? Okay, you're at this family event and everyone's eating their little hot dog, things, and you say, I want, and you say, I want an apology from you, John. You're putting me down in these group chats, and I would like a public apology. How do you think that's going to go? He's going to, if he's a professional narcissist, and most of them are, he's going to turn it right around and make you look like a psycho.
Yeah, the more you want it, and the more he knows that you want an apology, that's more ammunition. So I would not. I wouldn't. Apologies don't mean that much. The way
not
people
from them.
act. Yeah.
You're not going to get this thing like, oh my God, I didn't realize that you were upset, and you're not going to get like the real apology that you want. Like you're not going to get like, oh, I'm at fault here, and I own up to it.
And,
Look at like. like if you look at like so most politicians, I'm not getting political. Most politicians, both sides.
Like who?
No. When someday I will let loose on this topic. But anyway,
I'm out of here.
if you listen to any politician apologize, you'll see that they never do.
I'm sorry you feel this way.
Yes, they twist it around and they do anything but actually genuinely apologize. So I think we want to protect you. We don't want you to be up there and like suffer more abuse from this guy.
Right.
He may laugh at you. He may already have had members of the family turned against you. Who knows? If they're covert narcissists, he's already triangulating against you. It's a little unusual situation you bring up that the brother is in there.
I would not engage.
No.
I would be neutral.
This is not, I understand it's a family member, but it's your brother-in-law. It's not like your mother or your brother or your husband. I say, first, gather your information about the narcissists in general. I don't mean to, don't do a background check on him. Just like learn about narcissism. The next circle is you and your husband. Like, ever widening circles, but start with you and your husband.
Yeah, I love what you just said.
So if not an apology, the best way to make him stop is to not respond. Yes, if you can, anything anymore. Yes, he's triangulating very fiercely. Okay, so we're resonating.
There you go. That's good. Yes.
Why he's doing it is like it's a little unusual, but narcissists are narcissists.
He's immature.
Yes. Give me more. Do you have kids? How long have you been married? Is the communication open with your husband? Can you have a calm moment and say, look, it's risen to a serious issue. Like at first it was annoying. Now I'm serious about it. So you can answer those questions if you want.
Yeah.
Is the lines of communication open between you and your husband? Do you think you could bring this up? You seem like pretty assertive. It seems like you have some good ideas on what to do. I don't want anything to backfire and make you feel even worse. That would be terrible.
Yep, it would. So how do you leave?
How do you leave a brother-in-law?
How do you leave a narcissist?
Oh, in general?
Yeah. You pack a bag.
Pack a bag and get the hell out. No, you got to make a plan. So the steps to leaving a narcissist. So we do understand you can be stuck. So realistically, you could be married, you could have kids, you could rely on the narcissist for financial means, for child support, whatever, for the home you're in. So it's
emotional.
Right. But you got to start inside. You got to start setting boundaries internally. Like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Even if they're overwhelming and abusive, in your brain, you got to say, like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to fall for this. I'm going to understand this.
This doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that's how it usually starts. Something is not right.
Especially in your gut. Like you feel like there's something wrong. You're not happy. You can't think straight. All you're doing is thinking of them.
Yes.
They took over your brain.
In my personal case, I felt like I wasn't myself anymore. Like, this is not me. I'm not a depressed person. I'm not like, I don't have a negative attitude about, I want to go to work. I want to do things. I was losing my energy, losing my usual, they call it pizzazz at work. They say I have pizzazz. So like I was losing my pizzazz. It turned into a pizza, not a pizzazz. But anyway, so recognize it, learn. We all went through this to some extent. Like I learned, even though I was like already a licensed psychologist for 30 years, I still had to learn about narcissism again because this time I was experiencing it. So if not, it's still the same thing. So what was I saying? So the steps to get out.
So how do you leave? Yeah, what's the first?
Make a plan. Start putting, practically, start putting money away if you can. Start looking for, perhaps new employment ventures. Tell someone. Always tell someone, find someone you trust, a friend, a family member. I know they may not, sometimes like you said, it can be a worse experience to tell someone if they don't get it.
Oh, that could backfire.
Yes, yeah. But find someone at least you trust, even if they don't totally understand. Like I have a best friend he doesn't quite get the whole narcissistic thing, but he did get that I was in trouble and like wanting to, have a safe place to just let someone know. Let people know for safety reasons also. Safety first. If it turns into like physicality or something, like get an order of protection, call the police, protect yourself, get out, physically get out if it's that level.
I see people that, even when they went to the police, nobody believed them.
I know. It
gets very, very tough.
It can be a miserable road. It's worth it. It's so much, when you get out, it's like glorious. It's amazing. Any updates on the book? Thank you. The book. Wait, not to interrupt myself, but the book. We have another chapter down, chapter 6, and we're finally getting to the 8 steps of that we are devising to get out. Mm-hmm. So the book is going well. Go to the website, byenarcissist.com. Everything's Bye Narcissist on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the website itself, byenarcissist.com. We're going to update the book for sure. Send us your email if you want to be on the mailing list. Okay. Ooh, I'm out of breath. Okay.
Married since October 2020.
Oh, so it's relatively new. Okay.
No kids.
No kids.
My husband and I have an open line of communication for sure. He's just still hopeful to repair the relationship, but he's slowly understanding that it's hopeless. I watched all of the Dr. Ron videos. It all makes sense when I understood what's going on and stopped taking it personally. His brother never met me. Yeah, he's just
it could be jealousy.
Drama. Whatever it is, it has nothing to do with you.
He's going to ruin what his brother has because he's jealous, perhaps. Just a theory. But you're well on the path. Like you're good, getting the good information. It's out there. You're watching us. I'm curious how you heard about us in the first place.
And where do you live?
She said in Canada, right?
I think she moved. I don't know.
Oh, you moved. Oh, that's right. So you moved from Canada where? That's why she spells like with O-U-R instead of O-R. Yeah. But Genevieve, you're like in the first or second step already. You recognize something's up. This is not comfortable. This is not normal. There's someone online I follow, she calls herself a shrink for men, and she says, it's not normal. It's just not normal to feel uncomfortable and you're being targeted by a family member. It's just not, that's not normal.
Ignore, as much as you can, and just be the best you can be.
Yes.
So he says, something nasty, you can say something that nice.
I can't imagine nice. What does he say? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, what does he say in public?
Well, he says it in text.
Oh, he does. Yeah, in group text.
Yeah, group text.
How dare he? But
yeah.
That's just the kind of reaction you shouldn't have. You should say, all right. Should try to keep it rational. Like, okay, this guy seems to be out after me for some reason. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to tell my husband.
No, he's after the husband. Or
yeah, but he's putting her down.
Yeah, just rude.
He may be jealous. It may be simple as that.
Don't respond to him, though, in a negative way, because then he's going to keep doing it. It's fuel. It's negative supply. Genevieve, focus on supply when you're focusing on learning more about the narcissist, because supply is a huge thing.
There you go. We live in Albany. I was calling your clinic, and your lovely receptionist mentioned this. Well, good for her and good for you. I'm glad you came here. So Genevieve, there is some, like, it's got to be something, because what would motivate someone to actually to like check out a Facebook group and check out videos on narcissism? So you're you've identified it already, and thank God it's like one step removed from your own little family, but you don't want it to ruin your family, so keep the communication open with your husband. Don't respond. Learn more about narcissism. If you maybe you should perhaps tell your husband, like, maybe the husband should tell him, like, don't talk about my wife behind her back or in these group chats. Like,
that's going to give supply, but I don't
know. He's getting something out of it. Like,
just neutral.
In case you don't know, supply is like the emotional supply that these narcissists require for living. It's like, think of it as a vampire. They need blood to survive. Mm-hmm. They need this energy, negative or positive, that they steal from you. Don't give them too much of your energy. It is good that it's out in the open. You're talking about it. You're willing to talk about it. You're open about it. That's great. And please keep us posted on this issue. So there's 8 people out there. Please introduce yourself. Let's see who you are and if you have any questions. So the general topic is steps to take. I wanted to think if we have anything else to say to Joy. I do know. Joy has told me that her mother compares. She's a comparer. She compares your job to the neighbor's job. She compares your income to someone else's income on TV. Not so much TV, but I would say you can't fall for that either. You should have some stock answer. Like, yeah, you could be right. Maybe I love the humor part though. Like, oh, someday I'll have a federal job.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you do, if you were president, she'd have a problem. She would say, well,
the president of France has 5 offices.
Yes. But even no matter what you do, it'll never be as good as, is it your sister? Which is
she compares herself to her own sister, the mom.
Okay, so you'll never be as good as your sister. You can do what you could have the top job in the world, it won't even matter.
Your mom, okay, so I happen to know her mom. Your mom is not subtle. Like she's not going to get the subtle nuances of like this college is that kind of. Nor should you bother to explain. Like every job is different. Everyone's situation is different. You're doing just fine.
Joy, at this point, is this a choice that you're making where you get upset with her still? Because it's never going to change. So maybe you have to make a choice where you're not going to get upset and she's going to be who she is and look at you the way she looks at you.
I think like Joy is far less reactionary, but sometimes she'll wear you down, I suppose.
Oh, this is a good question.
Are there thank you guys. Glad we found you too. Thanks for finding us. Are there steps to stop being a narcissist? Like from the if you're a narcissist, they don't really care about any kind of steps. Like there are some narcissists who do reform. There's even some narcissists on social media who say, I was a narcissist. I still am a narcissist. I'm going to help you figure out why, how to defend yourself against me.
That's good to listen to. Did you ever listen to them?
I have a thing about that.
Why? What's your thing?
I don't want to give a narcissist any of my time.
Oh.
I'm not, but I do. People say it's great to hear how they think, and they are like the rare example of a narcissist who's actually doing some good.
Oh, I think they're so, and they're always the really intelligent ones. Like they're really off the charts.
Yes.
There's 2 I could think of, but.
I'm just annoyed, but you're right. I should just ignore. I know when I'm making, it's not easy to ignore it. It's your mom, and like you can't, for whatever reason, you can't go no contact. It's a tough situation. The same with Genevieve. It's a family member. How do you go no contact when they're at parties? Like if you're married to someone and you divorce them because they're a narcissist, unless you have kids, you'll never see them again, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's a family member. They're going to be at these events. They're going to be at weddings and funerals and stuff like that. So just like Joy, she can't like get rid of her mom. It's like it's not that easy. There's a younger sister involved. It's complicated. So Joy, one thing I would say though, don't deny your own feelings. That doesn't work. Like if your mom says something and you hang up the phone and you say like, you know what, that was annoying. Like you should, step one I think is admit, okay, she said something vile or something annoying or something unfair.
Or something typical.
Or something typical for her, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you admit your feelings, but then like you got to say, all right, this is not a surprise. This is nothing new. It's certainly not true. There's no validity to it. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to, convince her. She's not going to change. There's a whole list of things you could.
I wouldn't even go that far, Joy. What I would do is I would say, okay, you get off the phone. She was typical, and you take all of that and you just throw it to the universe.
That's true. You can like symbolically flush it down the toilet or something.
Could.
Like seriously, like symbolically wash it down the sink or open the door and throw it out. Like.
Yeah. I like to open the door.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing you said, but you said it better.
Yeah, it's like just say bye-bye, like just
Bye Narcissist. That's a good like little thing. Like say bye to the.
So the bad energy, just like
yeah. I know what Joyce. I've witnessed it myself. I know what Joy's talking about. It can be tough, but. I don't know. Maybe you could find the humor in it. It is pretty. Some of the things she says are pretty funny. Mm-hmm. You got to admit. Joy, if you think about it, think of some of the previous things she said. They're kind of funny if you're not the target of it. That is pretty funny what she said today. How can I mitigate potential damage with the family members that he has or is trying to turn against me? They're good at that. We call it like the flying monkeys. They release the flying monkeys.
And the smear campaign.
They turn people against you. They talk to people behind your back and they say things that you did, weird things, and eventually they can turn people.
Yeah, when I was going through all this, there was a big smear campaign, and I was getting the weirdest texts from people that I knew and that he obviously got to. But I would always, and I really mean this, always be the best you can be. Always be kind, be neutral with people like that, and just put the best version of yourself out there. And you know what? Chances are they won't believe anything because they'll know you.
Usually, over time, these people see what's going on. I can't promise they always do. Sometimes they don't. But like you said, you stay calm. Don't defend yourself too much. You know who you are.
Don't ask for apologies.
Yeah. I think one more thing about Genevieve, like you should work on your self-esteem so that you are strong when these things happen and you don't feel you have to ask for an apology or go or defend yourself or worry about what other people think. That's the first step. We should have said this before. The first step is like after you recognize that it's a narcissist, is work on you, self-care, self-esteem, self-worth, exercises, relaxation exercise, anything that's going to keep you calm and centered and like feeling strong about yourself. That's always good advice when dealing with a narcissist. Everyone's responsible for their own crap. You know, if someone turns against you because this brother-in-law said something, that's kind of on them, and they're missing out on you and whoever you are.
Right, and you responding to them makes you look really bad.
Yeah, and the narcissist will zoom in on that, boom, and he will use your defensiveness against you.
Because what you think is right is not going to come off like that to other people. Don't try to be right.
Don't even try. But
don't try to win. Don't try to be right. Don't try to teach them anything. You know, this person.
Yeah, they're not going to change. Like I said to Joy, like her mom's not going to. That's step one. Her mom's not going to change. You have to adapt. Sadly. It took me 8 years to realize this person will never change. The narcissistic abuse has gotten worse. This person can't hurt me anymore. Oh, there you go. That last sentence, Michi, I want you to cut and paste.
Yeah, but are you telling us that or are you telling yourself that?
Cut and paste and tell yourself that.
Yeah, because you shouldn't see them anymore.
Put it on your refrigerator. Make a poster. This person can't hurt me anymore. Why? Because you leave the person. You've disconnected and you've gone no contact. That's why they can't hurt you.
What does smear campaign mean?
Oh, so it means like they turn people against you. They say things that are either not true or exaggerations or like something that you in confidence. This happened to me. Something you in confidence told someone and they will tell other people. So sometimes it could be true, but like from the past, things about previous whatevers, they will, a smear campaign, just like in politics or like anywhere else. They will say negative things about you that are not true or exaggerated or so far in the past and try to ruin your reputation.
Really exaggerated, really ridiculous.
Myself, there you go, Michi, good. You know what to do. You're saying it. So, if attacked in public, should I just stay silent or leave or say something witty? Saying something witty,
don't just stop saying anything.
If you're very witty, yes. I'm already worried about how I'm going to react. All right, you got to practice reacting. Whatever it is he's saying, imagine that he's saying it in public and just. I would try not to react.
I would respond if you needed to, but if you don't say anything.
I mean, if it's like blatant, but he shouldn't be doing it. Should never get to that point, you know? I would, again, talk to your husband and tell him, make sure your husband understands the level that this is at, that it's upsetting you and that, you know, something has to be done if it continues.
Yeah.
If you leave, I assume that some people in this family you want to be with, maybe the food is good. Don't leave. Stay silent. Let him embarrass himself, I feel. You know, if he says something in public, let him embarrass himself. it's pretty pathetic to say something negative in public to someone's wife, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's really.
can it be much
really,
lower than
no.
that?
I would also say, if you sound like you're having a bad day, I'm gonna go. Or
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, you sound like you're psychotic, so I'm going to go. You see, you're not really talking like a rational, normal human being, so I'm going to go have a hot dog.
you clearly have issues.
Have another, have some more pigs and blankets, and maybe you'll feel better.
Or here, talk to my husband.
It's very hard to be witty, Genevieve. Like, I'm pretty witty, but it's really hard to be witty when you're in the middle of it. I was
Right.
not exactly witty when we'll make you laugh. Come in here.
Yeah.
Or send the person to the, tell them to sign in and we'll take care of them here. Genevieve, it's a very upsetting situation. I get it. It's a relatively new marriage, and like, you guys are happy, and this person is attacking. Like, it makes no sense.
No, definitely not.
I think the situation will develop. Maybe you can add, like, does your husband have any sense of why he's like that? Like, if you ask your husband, like, what's the deal with your brother?
I bet you he says, "Oh, he was always like that."
Yeah, he was always like that. Or like, I don't know. He maybe is the brother married? Like, it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah.
as a psychologist, I always want to figure it out. But you don't have to figure it out. He's not a good influence, not a good player there.
No, definitely not.
Do we have any other people who are like? If you're afraid to ask a question, don't be afraid. This is a group. Everyone here, everyone that you see on that list, understands at least the basics of what you're going through. Dr. Bryman and myself have been there. We've been in narcissistic relationships. We escaped. We got out.
Yeah.
We're better for it, honestly.
Would you go through it again if you knew now? If you knew then what you know now?
I gotta give it a no. But, I understand. I think I do agree with you. I'm a better person for this. We're both on sort of campaigns to help other people, so we're like, good came out of it, right? A lot of good came out of it.
Oh yeah.
We're better people. We're
It's
helping
like meant
people.
to be. Yeah, I would go. I would have not changed anything.
Really?
Yeah.
How many years were you in that relationship?
Too much.
Too many years. That's the only.
I think. Yeah. I mean.
Would I have given?
It wasn't bad until like the year and a half. That's a long time though. But. And then, woof. That was bad, yeah.
It's an interesting question. I'm giving it a no, but it's not a hard no. It's a thoughtful no. I would have wanted to do something else with those 5 years. I would have wanted to just not have suffered the heartache and the negativity.
But you're helping a lot of
But how would I be the person that you're? I mean, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
Like, would I be the person I am today? I'd be okay, but maybe I'm better. I'm better for it.
I would go.
Such a
through
good
it.
question.
It's not like a universe question.
I know. Towards the end, we get tired and very philosophical and very mystical, and it's true. We always say, you say, were these narcissists put here for a reason? Maybe they were to test us, to make us better, to make us step up.
Wait, I have a good one.
Sure.
So do you think the world is going towards that more?
Narcissism? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think there's going to be more narcissists?
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna answer your question 1 second, but I haven't listened to NPR, which is a radio, in a long time, but I listened to it today because I was stuck in traffic, and they were talking about, like, on airplane flights, there's far more violence and far more people who can't control their anger and then getting kicked off the planes, and there's more gun violence. Like, something, I know it's COVID, I know, like, we're still recovering from a year and a half of COVID or whatever, but I don't know, it's getting more self-centered, and like, people are getting offended more easily, and they're reacting more easily, and no filter. But anyway, okay, yes, he says he was always like that. Oh, see, you said that. His mother told me that even young, he was jealous of my husband. There you go. He is married. They are both doctors, and his wife is also criticizing our relationship. Whoa! But behind closed doors, woof, what you're up against. Wow, wondering if she is a narcissist too, because how can someone possibly be happy with someone like that?
Every pot has a
Has
lid.
a,
I'm sorry. All right.
every pot has a pot head.
I think by like 45 minutes, I
I know, right? No, we get funny. We should start 45 minutes in taping it.
I know.
That's hilarious. Genevieve, you are in a complex, a hot mess you're in there. Like they're both doctors? Well, doctors can be narcissistic,
No, you know,
let's face it.
no.
But you would think, like, stick to your own marriage. You don't have to answer this. Don't answer this, but is there other things going on? Is it like a biracial relationship and some prejudice going on, or like it seems like there's a missing piece? Like, why?
Are they judging you?
Are they judging you? Are they like? Why are they jealous? They're both doctors. They're Canadian doctors. Actually, Canadian doctors don't make as much as maybe that's.
You did say that.
Is Canada involved in any way? Is it Trudeau? Who's the? Is it? Yeah. Is this a Canadian issue? No, I'm kidding. By the way,
we're gonna get like hate mail.
The only narcissistic broadcast to get hate mail.
Yeah. Are they narcissists?
Who got in trouble for South Park? Got in trouble for making fun of Canada. They still portray Canadians as little stick figures. Yes, they're all Americans. I'm the Canadian.
Canada.
Ooh, yeah. But there's not honestly, there's not really an American prejudice against Canadians. Like
you should just cut us off.
Michael, cut us off. This is going to be a hook. Captain Kirk.
YouTube already.
William Shatner's in Canada. Who else? There's a lot of Canadian actors and actresses. One of my favorite groups, the name is Klaatu. I bet you, Genevieve, do you know Klaatu? They're from Canada. They're great. They're like very Beatlesque. Anyway, do you think it's because...
We have 1 minute more. Now I'm going to cut us off.
Oh, we're losing it. Okay, we better like wrap it up. So Genevieve, we're gonna figure this out, Genevieve. So you stick with us and join our. Please like us. Please like us. No, go to YouTube and check out some previous broadcasts, and please follow us on subscribe. That's the word. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Genevieve, you know, we do use humor, but it's not a light situation. It's devastating. So don't get us wrong. We understand. They're all. It's just, yeah, you should explore. Like, do they not like ice, hockey, or what? Anyway. Genevieve, thank you.
Thank you. Genevieve, stop reacting.
Yes. You're in good company, though. You came to a good place.
Yeah.
And we're 1 year. There you go. Basically, he's making lies to support his narrative that I'm not good enough.
Biracial. How'd you know?
Thank you, guys. I told you I love the humor. You got to laugh. I mean, sometimes. But because it was the missing piece. There's a missing puzzle piece.
There is.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense if she's a different religion, a different, whatever.
Yeah.
From a different.
Yeah. People fear that. It's just fear, So. But this is to be continued, Genevieve. So
yes.
Come back next time, and I am cutting us off.
Yeah, we're done. So anyway, thank you, everyone. Joy, Genevieve, Michi. You're great. You're getting there. And everyone else who's just listening and not see humor with an O-U-R.
Yeah. And see that it looks better that way.
It does, right? Nabor, humor. Anyway, folks, thank you so much from me and Dr. Bryman. We're going to say goodbye because we better. We're going to get from the Canadian National Board. We're going to get. See you next Thursday. See you next week. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
July 1st.
Thank you.